I think something that I wanted to ask both of you is a lot of people seem to think of love as this ineffable thing, this undefinable thing. As I said before, I think love actually needs definition. It needs to be, we need to know what love is. I wanted to know from you. I mean, I'm inspired by Bell Hooks and her definitions of love, but I want to know from you what you think of this. Do you think love is ineffable or does it need to be defined?
God help us if we reach a definition, because then it will be boxed in forever. Andreas, you can speak to this.
Yes, and I have just the opposite opinion on this. And Virginia knows. But obviously my all my words have somehow trickled down on you. You're no definition has stuck. No, I actually think it is very important to know what love is. And I think that the dominant technological civilization doesn't know what love is. And that means that individuals have a hard time understanding what love is. And if we don't know what love is, we can't really work in service of it. If we confuse it with something else, we don't work in service with it. And the biggest confusion is, at the moment, is that love is a confusion with love and feelings. To think love is a feeling. I think it's not a feeling. It's something entirely different. It comes with feelings, but it's not. Love is not a feeling. And the second degree of confusion is that love is a very nice and cozy feeling. And it's also not true. There was a bestseller in Germany. The German participants here will remember, because it was a really huge bestseller. And the title was Love, an Untidy Emotion. And that's as wrong as it can get, because it's not an emotion, and it's actually not untidy. It is totally clear. It is clear as crystal. And so I give you my definition very quickly. Love is the act of giving life. Love is the act of giving life. And nothing more and nothing less. And in this act, in this action, there's always an experience. So if you are in the act of giving life, you experience this. So you also have feelings with this, but experiencing something means more than feelings. It's a state of being. It's a state of a manifestation of reality. And of course, when you receive it, you also have an experience of it. Receiving love is also an experience. But exchanging love, exchanging the gift of life, is always an action. It's an action. It's a practice. It's a practice. It's a practice which is related with experience. And actually, it is the foundational practice of reality. Sounds big, right? It's big. It's just what is happening to us all the time. With every breath, with every beat of our heart, is that we are given life. You know, from a source we can learn to know, but which we normally don't. And that's already a problem about our knowledge of love. So we are receiving this gift of life in every instant, and the whole world is receiving this gift of life in every instant. This is why this world is real. And having received this gift, having truly received the gift of life, what are you inclined to do? Oh, you all know this. You are inclined to give a gift of life. You know, if you truly receive a gift of life, you overflow with joy, and this overflowing makes you want to share this gift of life. So that's how love works. And of course, it is severely disturbed because we don't know this. And if we receive it, we somehow tend to consume it instead of using it to give away. End of my tangent.
No, I need to respond as a woman here.
Yes.
And as I think everyone on this call knows what love feels like. It is whatever you want to call it, it's a full human experience of communion, of no self, of being with. And I don't need it defined for me. I know what love feels like. I'm a parent, not always a loving parent, but I know what that devotion to another being feels like. I know what love feels like, or is. Let's get rid of the word feel. What love is how life is. Where you went at the end, Andreas, I have full support of. But it's not that we are lacking a definition of love that has led to this horrible time we're in. It's that people have chosen for power and greed and self-protection, which when we're in self-protection mode, when we're in fear, under threat, we have no human capacities. We don't know what compassion is. We don't know what forward thinking is. We don't know what feeling, putting ourselves in another's shoes is. These are all brain functions that are not available when we are in fear. They're frontal lobe human functions. So we could give all the definitions of love, but that's not why we're here. We're here because power and greed have taken over, as they always do. We're at the end of a civilization. We're mirroring the patterns of the collapse of other civilizations where power, greed, aggression, and disregard for people, humanity as a whole, always happens. So the divine feminine is speaking to many of us now, which is about relationships, which is about creation, which is about generativity. And we are the ones. That's why I read the poem Summons. The grandmothers have summoned all of us to go forth with what we know in our bones, how to be together in ways that are creative, supportive, generative, compassionate, and loving.
Great. Satish.
Yes. What I would like to add to the conversation is to say, what is love? And one of the many definitions and many ways to describe love, but one way is to say acceptance rather than expectation. So we have to accept the situation, what is, reality, what is, and then transforming that situation through dialogue, through conversation, through some kind of communication. But acceptance, we have to accept the reality as it is. We can't create the ideal world. There's nowhere ideal world. In India, we have situations like India and Pakistan and Kashmir. And in Russia, you have Ukraine and so on. And Palestine and Gaza and many other problems. There are not so big problems. In every country, there are problems of that kind, small or large. So we have to accept the reality as it is and then see how we negotiate without hatred, without condemnation, without putting somebody down, how we negotiate and transform the situation with activism, of course, and with conversation, with negotiation, and with also resistance. We're going to jail, like Nelson Mandela was in jail for 27 years. So in love, you have to suffer. Love is not easy. Love is not comfortable. Radical love is not easy. You have to be prepared to suffer and be imprisoned, be killed. I mean, Jesus Christ was crucified, and many others were. Mahatma Gandhi was shot. Martin Luther King was shot, and so love is not an easy path. And it has to be, to radical love especially I'm talking about, it has to be a kind of change. But we have to accept the world as it is and negotiate that world and find an improved situation.
Find out more on advaya.life.